Somebody call a doctor because bad medicine is back. That's the answer. This is the Appleton Oak. I'm Mason Quinn. Folks, today we are getting back to Ted Lasso, Season 2, Episode 9. This one's called Beard After Hours. And yeah, I mean, the way Beard just kind of took off after that last episode was interesting. So maybe we'll see how that plays out.
That sounds like a pretty good
Solid
analysis of the title of thy episode, and I'm definitely ready, willing, and able to see if he's right or wrong.
There's a few other things other than Beard's night out that I hope we follow up on. Ted finally opening up to the doc. Sam and Rebecca.
Yep.
So much going on.
All right, without further ado, then let's go!
Hey, be careful out there, all right? And don't forget, tomorrow, it's your turn for coffee at Game Film, all right? Bright and early.
Oh, God, what is going on with him? This is so out of character.
Not that kind of bird.
Wow.
Wembley Park.
Imagine seeing your coach just walking around through the streets in his full gear.
This is the Southbound Metropolitan line train to Orkney.
Oh, a different version of the theme?
Oh, he's on this train for a while.
It's got a long ways to go to get back. Oh.
I love the way his motions are steady speed and everything else is.
It's just a scarf.
Look at all those books. He's got the hat with you. You can put the beer mugs, your beer cup.
But where Goliath just curb stomped David in the back of the skull, like in that Ed Norton movie.
Moonrise Kingdom.
I think that's
Nah.
I don't think that's
it's
it.
a different
The
one.
match was a real Cinderella story.
Yeah, was this just an off day for the players, or do we lay the blame on the...
Oh. Relationship problems.
Coach Beard knew an aggressive offensive strategy was a mistake. He should not have led Ted, Nathan, and Roy.
Coach Beard is Ted Lasso's number 2. He's supposed to challenge him, not just be a snivelling lackey.
They actually saying that? Is he imagining that?
Sad single man, more than a chessboard coffee
Yeah,
table.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm like, come on.
I hate Coach Beard.
I like that transition from reality to...
Co-produced by Roy. This one.
Well, the last episode he wrote.
Yeah.
Ted joining you?
No.
Jane coming?
She accused me of being jealous. Me. Because I told her it's hard to know where I stand, which it is, because she never says I love you.
Did you say it to her?
I did.
And she didn't say it back?
She did not. Thank you for helping me relive that.
What the hell was your thinking behind those tactics?
Hey.
You're right. Enjoy your beer. Come on. There's no way you thought coming out on the attack was a good idea. You basically left Sorrow back there to defend by himself in a semi-final. A semi-final!
Oh. Now she's saying, come find me?
He's not going to find nothing without his
Oh,
keys.
boy. She's gone to a club. I think that's what you need. Oh, can't keep doing this.
Yep. Just lay it out there, Beard.
Drop your keys. Oh.
We thought you needed a hug.
We can talk and drink as long as we talk about anything but the game.
That's a 180 from these guys, huh?
Have you ever been to Vegas?
What's Ted like behind closed doors?
How do you cope knowing the universe is infinite, but your consciousness can end in a second?
What's it like in Vegas?
I've been to Vegas many times. 1 night is good. 2 nights is perfect. 3 is too many. Ted is a man. Just a man. And as for the fragility of life, I got a few thoughts. In conclusion, if this is all indeed a simulation, which everything in my experience suggests that it is,
Holy
then all we can do is tip our caps to the rascal pulling the strings.
That's it, people. Just like my legs after a date with the guy who kept correcting me. We're closed.
You went on a date with Richard.
It was 2 dates.
Out.
See, corrected her again.
Yep. That was the
Coffee
date.
can be a date. Okay, so she's trying to be cordial.
Well, I'm not ready for the night to end. Any ideas?
Private club, very swanky, impossible to get in. Yeah, I heard they once turned away Cher.
Would you believe they did such a thing?
I think there's a dress code.
Misplaced and discovered? Is that what they call lost and found over there?
I took it as
Oh, look at these guys.
I took it as Beard's girl there was kind of being a little argumentative with him a little bit, like, oh, I'm trying to do whatever, but we'll probably see as the episode goes on.
I think she just wants a casual relationship.
Yeah.
Do we know each other?
I don't think we do, sir.
University of Barcelona class of 2004?
I went to Warwick, 2007.
Oh, sorry. You looked older.
If you're not a member, I'm afraid you can't come in.
You are very rude. What is your name?
My name is Sarah Coombs. What is your name?
None of my business.
Whoops.
Bones and Honey, may I help you?
Hello, this is the fire brigade. It's very important that we get in touch with Sarah Coombs. Oh, that's you. Oh, well, I'm very sorry, madam, but your flat is on fire. Now what? Cool. Oh, Orion's belt.
We're walking.
How'd she feel bad for Sarah Coombs?
Nah.
Tomorrow will be the most beautiful day of Sarah Coombs' life. Her apartment will look more amazing to her than any place any of us have ever lived.
Fight Club.
Okay, gentlemen, plan of attack. What's wrong?
I don't think we belong here.
Knock that shit off. We belong. Now, who wants an overpriced beer? Who wants an overpriced beer that I'm paying for?
Right back to it.
Feel free to strut.
I mean, he is a coach. He should be making pretty decent
Yeah,
money,
something
right?
in our comments for it said they're like somewhere around could be up around 10 mil or whatever that the coach would make.
The head coach or a coach like Beard?
Well, Beard's probably a little bit less, but Ted should be somewhere around 10 mil, they thought. Let me know if I'm right on that.
Oh, hey.
Lady in red.
4 beers, please.
Would you like them in glass, sir?
No.
If it is a simulation like The Matrix, he's following the lady in red.
Friendly wager on this show.
What's trig?
Trigonometry? Maths?
There you are, lads! I thought I'd lost you. Then where would I be? I see you've met my proteges. I'm Professor Declan Patrick Alois McManus, at your service. I assure you the pleasure is mine. But I must tell you, these lads here were the best of the best at Oxford itself.
Yeah, what were you professor of?
Economics and management, till I retired.
At Oxford?
That is correct.
We were at Oxford. Christchurch?
Our main rivals. I'm a Merton man myself.
Where'd you live?
Right across from the chapel. Nothing like waking up every morning to the sound of the dubs and organ at 8:15. Am I right?
He knows enough. He knows enough.
You Merton motherfucker.
How does Beard know all this?
The year we beat Cambridge in the boat race by 6.5 lengths, lest we forget.
I was on that crew. I was the Cox.
Yes, you were, you bastard! Harry Gill is here! Harry Gill is here! £20. You're on.
Kebab.
18, 19, 20. How's that for trigonometry?
Oh, please be a darts scene where they're really good.
Oh,
How'd you know all that stuff about Oxford?
Dated a professor at Oxford, and I listen more than I talk.
go.
I'll be right back.
Oh, don't leave our guys there alone.
Yeah, well, they got things set up.
Oh, I hope so.
Ooh, John Wick. Well, Beard's on a trip, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, I'm not sure if this is supposed to... Oh, boy.
Hard to forget a game like that. But it's clear to me that Coach Beard doesn't think he's worthy of Jane.
Goddamn fucking shit!
Is there a problem here?
Yeah, this nail on your faux Persian flea market coffee table just tore my pants.
Sir, can I see your membership card, please?
My friends are in there.
I'm sure you know that your trousers are ripped.
Well, this worked out well.
They're designed that way to make it easier for people to kiss my ass.
I live over there.
In that pointy building?
No.
Wow, they are really ripped. Yeah.
Take your trousers off. I'll give you something to wear in the meantime.
What is going on here?
People come and go from my life. I've always kept a pair of their trousers. This rack is like my memoirs.
What a sound.
You ever look back on a relationship and regretted it ended?
Been doing it all day.
I've loved every man in my life, and I don't think I regret a single one of those relationships ending.
And all my happiest memories, I'm single. It troubles me.
You ever been in love?
There's someone in my life now who I want to be with her all the time. Is that love, or do I just have a problem?
Why can't it be both? Could you get that?
It says do not answer?
Right, babe, I'm here, but I've forgot my keys. Who the fuck are you?
I'm Beard.
He was just a trouserless man I met at Bones and Honey.
Oi, shithead! I'm gonna punch your fucking teeth out your face and feed them to your asshole like they're candy.
You could have warned me.
Oh, don't mind him. He's just a little jealous.
You're dead, man.
Run.
Run.
What is even going on?
Who the fuck is he?
Is this like Timu Batista?
Timu Tyson Fury, but with muscles.
Hey, Beard didn't do anything wrong here, pal.
He's in his girl's apartment. He's not having it.
So then what would you be doing, Oak? Sitting down and having a chat?
Like, hey, dude, I just met her.
In the world, you take him out at the knees, he falls like a stone.
Just met her at a bar. She told me to come back. I didn't do anything.
Oh. He went all the way to the bottom. Those bags didn't help.
They tested that on Mythbusters. Not practical because of what you don't know is in there.
In the garbage
bag of bricks.
Well, you know, you're right. Someone could be doing
nails,
doing some woodworking, and
do you put woodworking in garbage bags? I suppose screws.
Scraps.
You put anything in garbage
That's
bags.
the thing too. Is scraps that you just throw in there.
Yeah, really, anything that you want to discard, you can put in a garbage bag.
Anything you want to keep cold.
This conversation.
Well, at least the guy can't remove very quickly.
Oh.
Still got it.
Oi, he hasn't tapped in.
Of course. My pleasure.
Wallets in his pants.
Well, at least he got far enough away from.
Excuse me, madam.
Is he going to have his keys to even get in?
Are you staying with us tonight?
No. Could I please use the phone?
The hotel phones are just for guests, I'm afraid, sir.
Slides it away.
Could I please use your phone?
My personal phone.
Yes, I've lost my phone and my wallet, and I'm just trying to get back home.
And what would you be using my personal phone for, sir?
Booking a cab? Well, I'm not trying to trick you.
Exactly what a trickster would say.
I would just go through my own account, you know?
That's how it starts, isn't it? And all of a sudden, you and fake Melania have downloaded all my bank details and you're using my identity to shift more poppy seeds to your own private island. No, not tonight. Because in seconds, you'll have my mother's maiden name, all my cryptocurrencies. You'll not make a fool of me. Not you, not a dead ringer for Dame Judi Dench.
Good night.
Hello? Hey, I'm sorry to bother you guys. You guys are about to save my life.
Oh,
shit.
Look who it isn't.
Good to see you again, Mr. Tart. Why don't I let you guys get back to what you were doing?
Whoa. It's okay.
What are the
There's no
odds?
rush. I'll tell you what, lads. Why don't we teach Culture in his magic trousers?
Yeah.
Exactly what football's all about.
Or
Oh, well, it looks like beer's done for, doesn't it? Clearly, he'd rather punish himself than accept the love and support of the people around him.
Keys again.
Fellas.
Oh, shit.
You want to push it, didn't you?
Oh, look who it is.
Wait, what?
Oh.
She's just gonna fix my pants. No.
You left these at our flat. Been trying to find you.
Well, that's nice.
No, I'm sorry I lost my temper. Truth is, we're having a baby, and it's made me realise how precious she is to me. The thought that she was cheating on me, it's just too much. But I also realised that maybe I'm more paranoid than most when it comes to that, because I used to cheat in the past. But I've really worked on it. Mary said she's keeping your trousers. And I'm not even a Richmond fan, but mamma mia, that was tough to watch. Think you dropped those? You'd be lucky, yeah?
It's a push one, too. It's that.
Well, that's how he stays in shape.
52 messages, 72 missed calls.
Whoa.
Oh, boy.
Oh, she said it
I love
back.
you.
Oh,
Barry.
Well, there's always tomorrow.
Quit. Oh, never know.
Well, he'll have an amazing tale to tell her. Yeah.
Samurai.
We treated ourselves to a limo! Where you want. This night will never end. Thanks for a wicked night.
You're going to go to this address. You're going to tell Renee that Beard said it was okay.
Just one cornetto.
Delicious ice cream from Italy.
Oh.
Perfect ending.
They just leave churches like that open over there?
Hi there, God. Long-time listener, first-time caller. And I know you're probably busy because you got bigger fish to... There's this woman, P-A-Y-N-E. You probably know that, but if you wanted to look her up...
Look her up.
I could have been with her tonight, but I ended up with you.
That's the way he says it.
I am under no illusions that she could solve what ails me. When I'm with her, the world just feels more interesting. Huh.
Well, knock then. Well, you knock. Just knock. Are you Renee?
Who's asking?
Coach Beard sent us.
Turn them on.
What are we doing here?
Oh my God.
It's beautiful. It's Nelson Road.
Hey, look at that. That'd be like us. They let us on Lambo to actually run around and do stuff on it.
The old tour, walking out on the sidelines is as close as I'm ever going to get.
That's as close as we're ever going to
It's
get.
like he found the club.
Oh, God, please don't let her be hanging out with another dude. He's going to fit right in with those pants.
Yeah. Gonna hit somebody with those arms swinging around like that.
No. Look at him go.
Yeah, he actually had to learn how to hula hoop, probably.
I didn't see this coming.
These guys. Beard's got that crazy look in his eye.
Oh, the way they shoot it with the wide end, like the fish lens effect almost on some of the shots.
Where the fuck is he?
Well, if Beard's not coming, I'll go get coffee.
Now, hold on a second. Beard's like the mailman, you know? He always delivers and he looks great in shorts.
Flat white, coffee black, peppermint latte.
Everything all right?
Yeah, just slept too late. Must have fell off the bed.
Oh, right, yeah, no. That's the thing.
Because sometimes, every once in a blue moon, there is a game so awful, so
dog shit,
that the only way to watch it back is at 10 times the speed and with the Benny Hill theme music playing under it. Here we go.
Fucking hell.
I still got the pain.
He still got the.
Oh,
all right.
What an episode. Easily the strangest episode of Ted Lasso, but honestly, it's in like my top 2 or 3
Really?
episodes. I
loved
absolutely loved this episode.
All right.
Way more than so many other episodes, not to put them down, but like everybody's gonna have their favorites. And I just loved this one. You know, it started off where at least I wasn't too sure about Jane, what she was trying to do. Was she just looking for a good time and Beard was looking for more? And was she maybe kind of leading him on a little bit, like with the pictures and stuff like that? Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize, you know, that sort of thing. But I think as Beard kind of went through everything and he came to grips with everything that, you know, not only happened in the game, but, you know, things that are going on in his life. And I think to me, I took the dance scene as the end of just like, look, so just sometimes you just have to enjoy the moment, and that long-term stuff that you're looking for, maybe that'll eventually come, but there's no reason you can't enjoy what's happening in the here and now and to enjoy that. You know, he was so worried about, oh, where's it going with Jane? Does she love me? She didn't say it back. Well, what kind of thing is this? It's like, look, man, just enjoy it. Just enjoy what you have. And that's kind of how I took that. All the craziness that happened with the woman in red Matrix type reference of, you know, following her and that leading where it did. That was wild. He got the crazy pants. There's maybe more to that scene than what I got out of it, certainly. But yeah, this was a really fun episode. And again, it's the fun you can have in a show when you have established characters and you kind of know what's going on with them, but then you throw them in a completely different environment than what they're used to, and the fun that you can have with that. And I think that this was kind of showing that, like, you can take these characters, and because with this show, like, yes, soccer or football is the background for what they're doing, but it's obviously more about the characters, and the sport is obviously secondary. So, you know, I mean, I loved it. I think it showed that, you know, Beard was looking for Jane to solve his problems and be the missing piece of what he's looking for. Well, that's not fair to put that on somebody. Be like, hey, solve my problems for me. You're the last piece of my puzzle that I need. It's like, no, that doesn't work that way. You know, relationships are a two-way street and there's give and take. And I think he just finally realized that she's not going to do anything for him. It's enjoying the moment, enjoying the time that they have, and then seeing where things go. So that's kind of what I got out of it. But just a wildly fun episode that, you know, there was moments of fantasy and reality blended in. You had Beard kind of hallucinating a little bit, seeing things. That was fun. So I loved this episode. I thought it was fantastic. But I can see why, you know, if you're a hardcore fan of the series, you might be like, what the hell was this? Where are we at with everything else? But, you know, much like the Christmas episode, it was just a diversion from our quote unquote main story, I guess. So, yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great. And one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah, much like the Christmas episode in my mind, like for you, it was a build upon, like you were saying, maybe a throwaway episode. No, It was a build upon the characters as well, like the soccer players, the team aspect, get another side of Rebecca, and then seeing her and Ted, work well together. So this one was a great insight to Beard, because like Beard wasn't even a part of that episode. He went off into his own thing, obviously with Jane. But this episode was great because it was just him veering off. We got to get a look into his life. We get to look into he has his own insecurities, his own anxiety, whether it's insecurities about his woman or insecurity about his coaching, insecurity about being Ted's number 2, which is what kept on overplaying, where he kept on yelling at Theory, which I thought was great, whether they were there at the bar or the fight in the scene where he ran into Jamie Tartt's dad, which, we saw last episode where after Jamie punched him, he smashed his head against the door saying, whoops, sorry, watch out for the door. So having a 3-on-1, and he saw that even, like they said, with his insecurities and everything, he was not going to give up without a fight, but he didn't know when to stay down because he was going to keep going in. And thankfully, you called him Timu Batista. You called him Tyson Fury with muscles.
Poor Tyson Fury.
But he showed him. I think he's doing all right for himself.
Does this look like an athlete to you?
Tyson Fury is doing just fine for himself.
And he is highly entertaining if you ever watch the Netflix documentary on him. But I digress. Going back to this episode, so you saw his insecurities and everything build throughout the episode, so much so that he was willing to get his ass kicked from what all transpired and how he's feeling with Jane. And, it's a big, we laugh about the episode of Seinfeld where he says, I love you. And he's like, that's a pretty big matzo ball to have hanging out there, because if you say it and they don't say it back, that's a really, you're putting yourself out there. And so to not hear it back, obviously it tormented him a little bit. But in the end, he saw the text that she did love him back, but, he couldn't. Obviously, the phone died. 72 missed calls, 52 missed messages.
Well, which is weird because there was nothing, and then she just exploded with activity on.
Well, I think she. I'm obviously I could be wrong, but maybe she was playing coy. She was showing had the cross because she wanted, and that was the thing too. Is she's like, I want you to come find me, and I think that's what she wanted to do. That yes, because I'm assuming when he got there, she was going to maybe finally tell him, I love you in person.
Yes, I didn't know where she was going with it. But
that's just a theory I have, obviously, because, she did end up saying it, but via text. And as awesome as that is and as nice as that is to hear, it's even better in person. So
yeah, well, and it seems like she's having more of a fun, playful relationship with Beard more so than like he wants to be serious right away. Like, what are we?
Remember, she moved in because she got kicked out right away. Yeah. And so, like, at that point, it was a little too serious for him. But now he's like, okay, I actually love being with her. Yeah. I love her. So he wanted to get the big L word from her as well. So it was a very fun episode. I don't know if it was my favorite, but it was still really good. I really thoroughly enjoyed it because, come on. I love Coach Beard, so it was fun to have an inside look into his life. His bachelor pad, so to speak, just filled with books and that chess table. I know they mocked it, but that would look mighty fine in a den. That'd look really nice.
Well, and we just got some character development out of Beard that we haven't seen. He's just kind of been a background guy for the most part.
Yeah, so interesting, scrolling through some comments, and I don't know whether this is somebody hypothesizing or reading something real. They said it originally they maybe had 10 episodes written, and then Apple wanted 12, and so they threw in particularly 2 filler episodes, one being the Christmas episode and one being this. Now, whether that's actual or whether that's it throughout the storyline, it feels like it would make sense to me if Apple said, hey, let's run this 12, and they only had 10 written, and sort of just kind of I suppose you could stretch out certain episodes or not. But, look, for me, this is character development. We've had
filler that was still 40 minutes long.
Yeah, right. But it was character development. We've had episodes that focus heavily on Nate and his relationship with his parents. Of course, we've had episodes that focus on Rebecca and Ted, Roy and Keeley. So you've had episodes that really give us a lot of depth to the background of the characters. And so it felt like that with Beard here. Look, he's a very integral part of this entire story. He's Ted's right-hand man. And so to have an episode that gives us a little bit more of his, backstory or not really necessarily backstory, but insight as to why he is the way he is. You know, the commentators, of course, that they put in, I think very representative of, you know, his own internal monologue as far as, are you good enough? Do people love you? And things like that. And that's a real thing that a lot of people deal with when they get into relationships. You know, everybody takes relationships at their own pace. And sometimes it's funny. I just saw yesterday some statistic thing, and of course those can be funky, but they were saying men fall in love 30% faster than women do, which again, it's just something I read on the internet. So take that for what it is. But look, people enter relationships together, and just because you enjoy having fun together, again, the pace at which you take it can be very, very different between two people. And oftentimes that can be very disconcerting for one person if they feel like they're the one who's, you know, kind of in a little bit deeper than the other person. But sometimes you have to just like, hey, I know it's so cliche, but like, don't like force things, don't rush them, you know, just let things kind of develop. And it's one thing if you start dating a new person and you're like totally into them and they're still out like dating multiple people, which I'm not like this generation, like I'm not like that, but I've never understood like the dating multiple people thing and I don't even know, is it
playing the field?
Is it even a real thing in real life, or is it just TV and Hollywood? And it's like, look, I'm not going to pretend like I didn't have periods where you go on a date with somebody, I'm interested enough to hang out with you, and if it goes somewhere, it does, but if it doesn't, it doesn't. But, you know, I've never been one to like, oh, I'm going to have a date with this person on Friday, and next week I'm going to go out with this person, and the week after I'm going to go with that person, and see how it works out with everybody. Like for me,
it's because you're not Jason Momoa, or Ryan Reynolds, or Ryan Gosling.
It doesn't
happen to guys like you.
Excuse me. I resent that. No, but I just don't know how you know, like week to week or even, you know, month to
balance
month. Hang out with multiple people and try to see like where it goes, you know? So I think they play that up a lot, but in any regard, look, Beard, overthinking things, you know, you brought up a great point. Like if you have stuff you're dealing with on yourself, you can't just expect to get into a relationship and have somebody fix them. And they made a very good point of him when he was in the church, you know, kind of saying, I don't know, but I'm, you know, I just feel better when I'm with her. It's like, okay, well, don't overthink things. Mm-hmm. The throwing in the big guy was interesting because it was almost like, I think it was almost representative for like these fears you have, right? And then like just misunderstood, you know, because the big guy is going to come in, whatever. And then he goes through his own like, oh, you know, I have my own insecurities and this and that. And because I used to do this, that was a big thing. The writers do a good job because I used to cheat. I think maybe she is, you know, and that's got to, you know, kind of simmer in Beard's head a little, not to say that he's somebody who used to cheat, but like I have these issues with myself. So maybe that she has that. And at the end of the day, it's just a big, long lesson just to not overthink and just to enjoy the time you have with the people you want to be with and whatever. Look, the way they shot it was very stylized, so that was interesting. I liked that they gave our three characters from the bar.
Oh, the Richmond fans?
Yeah, they had some fun. And look, they could have gone the Goodwill Hunting route with the three guys in the club or whatever, and they gave us a little bit of that moment, but then they were fine. And then even at the end, like, yeah, we ended up telling them the truth. They still were like, yeah, cool. So I like that they went that route, because that's easy to do, right? We're the less whatever and are judged by the richer, you know, higher society type people. So the fact that they kind of gave us that a little bit, but didn't push that and didn't make it cliche, I thought was good. Did it feel like a filler episode? Yes, but in the same regard, it felt like a backstory episode and you know, kind of a learning thing. The only filler
is kind of an interesting thing.
Well,
it's only filler if you feel like you don't. get anything out of
yes
it,
and no. But here's my thing. The only reason I don't like this episode bothers me. And I'll just look, I know it's mixed bag. The episode itself is fine for me, but we're literally just coming off of the huge reveal with Ted and the doctor finally opening up to each other. And then we learn what happened about Ted. I mean, that's not like, hey, I had a, you know, bad this or a bad that. We get a huge reveal with Ted. and a huge ending with Sam and Rebecca, and it's like, and here's this episode that doesn't advance that story at all, doesn't tell us anything. So you're kind of like, wait, what? Nothing. But look,
sometimes it's good to just take a breath.
Take a breath.
There's been a few episodes that haven't had, direct follow-up throughout the season.
Follow-up.
No, they're still in our traditional world of Ted Lasso, but they don't necessarily address.
So if somebody was hypothesizing about this being a filler episode and them needing 12 when they only had 10,
I could totally
this and the Christmas episode makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
The Christmas episode with, because
it was in August that
Roy's
aired or something.
But it still has to follow the season. But
right.
Hey, we're gonna write a story about how Roy's niece has bad breath, and it's like, oh, okay, that's a little out there, Yeah. But look, in any regard, it was entertaining, and I'll leave it at that. Regardless of how it fit into the overall story, it was entertaining. It was fun. You got Beard with a hula hoop and some pants that looked like something Elton John would have worn during the 70s. So it was good for me.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you have it. That was a nice little filler episode. Maybe we'll get back to some.
I loved it.
Let's get back to some sadness in the next one. So for Appleton, Mason Quinn, I'm of course the answer. We'll catch you on the next one, pals.
Little color me bad.
I can't say the rest.
Because YouTube is like a second grade.
Here we go. Picking right up.
It's your boss.
Hey, boss lady.
Is she gonna
Last
have
time I
the,
spent this long in bed, it was because I strained a hamstring.
The pillow toggle.
Yeah.
Should we tell people about us?
I'm enjoying the secrecy.
Oh, so this is like a jump forward.
It's so stressful. I'm going grey.
I have not seen one grey hair anywhere.
It's not on my head. It's not down there. It's on my armpits. See?
Salt. You are not going to let this one go, are you?
No, I am not.
Where are we going? How about Greece? Sam, you remember my mother?
It's a pleasure to formally meet you, Deborah. I sincerely wish I wasn't in my boxers right now.
Boxer briefs and light clunky exposition. They leave very little to the imagination.
Right, okay, let's leave the pleasantries out of the way. What's my father done this time?
He died.
Oh. Well, hence the title.
Oh, wow.
What?
Wow, okay.
So where do you think her father is right now? I mean, like, spiritually.
In the drawer of a funeral home.
That's.
I like to imagine a heaven where animals are in charge and humans are the pets.
If you weigh a person's body right after death, it's 21.3 grams lighter. And some say that's the weight of a soul.
Whoever figured that out clearly weighed someone, murdered them, then weighed them again. You live, you die, you're done. Good night.
Very.
No
He's on his
joy.
period.
So we're all going to his funeral as a team.
Where do you get dress shoes? I don't have time to stand in line at midnight and wait till morning to buy new shoes.
You don't have to do that for shoes like these, mate. Nobody wants them.
Nobody wants.
Hey! Is that her?
Ricky? That's Swayze. Holy shit! She's got an old picture of Patrick Swayze riding a horse. What?
Mother! Turn it off! Oh, I'm sorry. I like to have it playing in every room in the house when I wake up.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, well, the whole world used to love that song. Then we heard it ad nauseum, and now we're over it.
Nope.
Well, I don't work that way.
Nope.
Once I love something, I love it forever. Now I know what song I want to play next.
Oh, no.
Oh, can't wait.
Oh, Jesus.
She wearing Bane's jacket.
Just wanted to see if I could still do it.
Been ages. Thank you for coming.
Nora and I are here for anything you need, okay? Isn't that right, Nora? Nora?
Oh.
I'm okay.
Like where everyone knows they have to go and be sad. I think that's weird.
Yeah, they're horrible.
Roy, if you die, do you want to be buried or cremated? Like if you were hit by a bus today, what do I do?
Go after the bus driver and make him pay for what he did to me.
Avenge
me!
I found this company and they bury you in a biodegradable sack. So when your body decomposes, it fertilises the seeds of a fruit tree. That's what I want, because then you and all the people that love me can eat the fruit from my tree.
That is fucking mental.
I just like the idea that my death can nourish people.
With fruit made from your rotting corpse. I wouldn't eat that.
But you'll eat a kebab that you find a hair in.
It's fine if you know who the hair is from. That's part of the deal. He's a lovely bloke.
He's a lovely bloke.
You're not really angry, are you?
Yes, I actually am. Now we have to go to a funeral and act sad.
Well, now I am sad.
Ah, nice. He mentioned this song, what, 3 episodes ago?
Yeah, we shouldn't have. Well, it's a funeral episode. Well, he's got a picture of his son, no ex-wife pictures. They made a point of... Oh, boy.
I can't believe you made it.
Of course.
Rupert!
My sincerest
with-
condolences.
Didn't think you were coming.
Paul's family.
No, I mean because you weren't invited.
No, come on, really?
And introducing Diane.
Oh,
So that's, I think someone in the comments let us know too, that's Keely Hazel right there. And that's what Juno Temple's character, Keely, is based on her.
Oh.
Not magic. I ate the placenta raw. And she knows it.
Oh.
Raw?
My condolences.
thank you.
Sorry for your loss.
How many
a
of them
cast
came?
of Reservoir Dogs coming in.
Another of them are wearing trainers.
Not so much they care about you.
Rebecca?
Thank you all so much for coming.
Sorry for your loss.
Yeah, sorry for your loss.
Fathers are the training wheels on the bikes of... I just didn't want to say what they said. Sorry for your loss.
Beard's wearing Oakleys. Blades.
Rupert Shipbag.
Come on, Sass, let's let bygones be bygones, eh? I've got a daughter now.
He looks like
Having
the
a
devil.
daughter erases all the shitty things you've done to women in your lifetime. I think about your death every single day. I will be a beacon of joy.
Always a pleasure, Sassy.
Fuck off and die, Rupert.
God, I love her. Love her. That's why Ted loves her.
Good morning, Ted. Ted, you're okay. Just focus on your 4-7-8 breathing. I'm on my way.
That baby sucks.
That baby sucks.
That baby's whack. I hate it.
That baby's whack.
Sorry for your loss.
Funerals are so weird.
I was literally talking about that earlier. Do you also want to be a tree when you die?
Hell yeah. A really stupid dog. So where's Ted?
Sassy and Ted sitting in a tree. And I think Rebecca is secretly dating someone.
Pula?
Jamie, how nice suit. Is this the suit that Ted got you?
What the,
Yeah.
this? Can't remember. Yes. Yeah.
Another man buying you clothes is infantilizing, yes?
I love our Dutch guy.
You don't buy all my clothes. Most of them are gifts from my mum.
Dutch guy, just no filter ever.
Just eat an apple.
I got it from a tree outside. That's how dead people. It's surprisingly delicious. Cheer up, Katie. It's a funeral.
Interesting. They're
Keeping shots on Jamie a little too long.
I know, muchacho. Because remember, they ain't made for people like us. They're made for muggles.
It's Ted Muggles.
Oh, Jesus, this place is a mess.
How you feeling, Ted?
You know, not great, but better.
Because when someone's not great, that allows me to get in there and do my thing. May I sit down?
I wish the doctor would, yeah. Want something to drink? Cup of tea or something?
No, thank you. I hate tea. Tastes like a wet paper bag.
I'll tell you anything.
I just wish you were here.
Me too. I love funerals. Is it an open casket?
God, I hope so. I like to see.
Weird.
Oh, God. You can't FaceTime at a funeral.
When I was a kid, the only thing I liked about going to church was confession. It was so freeing.
I have been told to come in and ask you to lower your voices. I also bought this. Who? Are you secretly shagging?
What are you even talking about?
Even though today is your father's funeral, you are glowing like a girl that just got properly ploughed.
Yes.
The vicar looked like he wanted to swear. Is everything all right?
Just trying to figure out who Rebecca's shagging.
Oh, I know. And it's good.
Is it Sam?
How the fuck did you know that?
Excuse me.
Watch it! Everyone out except immediate family, please.
One guess.
Ted, it's not surprising that you had a panic attack.
Now we'll change the mood.
It's possible that going to this funeral would trigger memories of going to your own father's funeral.
I didn't go to my dad's funeral. You know, he quit on his family. He quit on himself. And I hated him for that. I think I still hate him for it.
What happened with your father is a difficult thing for anyone to make sense of, especially his teenage son.
You know what you're going to say in your eulogy?
I don't want to do a eulogy.
It would look awful if you didn't say anything at your own father's funeral.
I've got nothing nice to say.
What are you so angry about?
Dad cheated on you, and I saw it. I even remember the date. It was Friday the 13th, 1991.
In September. You know, came home from school as usual. Went up to my room to
Nick a bottle of wine from your drinks cabinet. And as we opened the door, I heard bang.
I opened up the door and there he was.
In all his glory, with his arse in the air, with Mrs. Reynolds screaming his name.
Choked. Cried.
And came running after me in his dressing gown, begging me to stop. But I just
Ran upstairs, called 911. Called my mom at work and let her know she needed to come home.
And the next day when I came back, he said nothing about it. And that is why I'm so fucking angry. It's why I've always hated him.
I mean, I know about his cheating.
You knew and you did nothing.
Of course I knew. I know everything.
Then I hate you too.
Ouch.
I hate you for letting him treat you like that. And I understand why you're angry with him. He took a lot away from you.
And my mom.
I'm curious about something. What was he like?
He was a good man, you know. Probably could have been a little bit better listening box at times.
You told me what you hate about him. I'd love to hear something you remember that made you feel good.
When I was in 5th or 6th grade, there was this book called Johnny Tremaine. And our homework for like a month was to read this book. At the end of the month, I hadn't read a lick of it. And we had a test. And the night before, I was anxious as all heck. And I couldn't sleep. And my dad starts getting after me about that. And he says, hey, don't worry about it. Okay, just go up to your room, lay your head on your pillow, and think about something you're looking forward to. Next morning, I wake up, and he says, hey, you ain't going to ride your bike to school. I'm going to drive you. And on the way to school, he talks me through the entire book. Because he stayed up all night because he didn't want his little boy stressed out over some stupid, silly test. And I ended up getting an A. Oh, he was a good dad. And I don't think he knew that. I think he would have known how good he was at stuff he didn't really care about being good at. I don't think he would have done it. And I wish I would have told him. I wish I would have told him more. I was just so angry at him. He was always gone at work and just out with friends or something like that. And then he was gone. And I knew right then and there that I was never going to let anybody get by me without understanding they might be hurting inside. Life, it's hard. It's real hard.
Thank you, Ted.
I don't know if this is illegal or something, but can I have a hug?
Sure.
Are you going to charge me for this session?
Of course I am.
Okay. I appreciate your integrity.
I'm not as strong as you. I was too scared to leave him for good.
You don't think I was scared leaving Rupert? I was terrified, and rightly so, because let me tell you, being alone is f***ing horrible, but it's been necessary.
Besides, Rupert was a self-righteous shit.
Hey, there we
Then
go.
why are you always so nice to him?
Because, my darling, the best way to deal with people like that is to make sure they know they can't get to you. What's more important, being loving or being right? I was so proud of you when you left him. When I love something, I love it forever.
Even though he treated you like that?
Yeah. He wasn't perfect. I didn't need him to be. He always came back. I'm actually glad to hear that you hate me.
Ooh.
All these years, I thought you didn't feel anything for me. I'll take your anger over your indifference any day.
Wow.
Who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
He's FaceTiming here. Oh, Jesus.
God.
He came to church every weekend, paying attention to every single word. Now, the same passion and commitment which he showed both as a husband and a father to his family as well.
Looking back at Jamie.
I don't really know what to say. My father was, we're no strangers to love. You know the rules.
The fucking lyrics.
Full commitments, thinking I just want to tell you how I'm feeling. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna see.
Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna give you up.
Never gonna let you
down.
I always thought it was hurt you, not desert you. Oh. The organ.
They came in with the organ. Oh, 45. First time I've heard Ricky Astley on an organ. Or at a funeral.
Do you want to pop by at the house, Rupee? We're having some people over and...
Afraid we have to go. It's nap time.
For you or the baby?
Boom!
Convinced Bex to give up her shares in Richmond. So we'd love you to have them.
It's very thoughtful of you, Rupee.
Giving away his shares. He's out of the picture.
Feels like he can't hold anything over anymore. What's he saying to Nate? Is he going to buy another club and hire Nate?
I think I need to break it off with Sam.
What? Why? Penis is too big. Hurts your tiny little vagina.
Me and Billy were just going over here to talk about 1966.
1966.
Muchísimas gracias. I can feel my toes again.
Look, it's got
one of them's wrapped.
Bloody.
Me too. You keep those.
Esa mujer es un ángel.
Hi, Jamie.
Are we going to do this relationship again?
I know that you're with Roy and that you're happy. Today's made me realise that I'd hate myself if I didn't say I didn't just come back to Richmond to get away from my dad. I also came back because of you. I finally think that I'm becoming the best version of myself. The kind of man that you always knew that I could be. I love you, Keela. Sorry.
I was a prick today, making dumb fucking jokes. It's just, death makes me uncomfortable. Because when my granddad died, I spent every single night for a whole year praying that I could just talk to him just once or see him just one more time like he was Obi-Wan Kenobi or some shit. And I got fuck all. We only got this one life. I don't want to waste a second of it. I love you, Katie.
Oh. Talk about
Remember his granddad was the one that took him.
Yeah. A quick couple of minutes for Keely to have to go through. Wow.
I've wanted to do this all day. I haven't had the chance.
Sam, so kind and loving and...
Oh, boy.
But...
Oh, no. I hate big butts and I cannot lie. Why is that a bad thing? You could really hurt me, but you can hurt me too. Doesn't that scare you? No. Does it scare you? Yes. I think I need to figure out why. I understand. Take as long as you need. Thank you. There's something I should warn you of. I'm only gonna get more wonderful.
It's like the happiest breakup in history, I think.
Yeah.
Sorry for your loss, ladies.
Oh, don't be, Ted. You didn't kill him, did you?
Mum.
Well, I'm sorry that I was late today.
Yeah, is everything okay?
Everything? Heck no. No, but me, yeah, no. The fact that a fella his age could still do every move from Donald O'Connor's big old dance scene from Singing in the Rain, that just gave me a lot of hope for getting older, you know.
Paul loved two things, attention and making her laugh.
You know, I'd forgotten that. Thank you, Ted.
Shoes.
You and Sam taking a break?
How did you know that?
I'm your mother. I know everything. I saw him coming out of the cupboard looking sad. Oh, look. You look like a little boy now.
Home videos. Oh, I've probably taped over that. Why am I sitting in a bowl?
All the other neighbourhood kids who had pools, they'd come specially over so they could swim in your bowl.
Oh, Mother.
How perfect is that?
That's what they taped over.
I think you had a bit of a thing for Rick Astley, Mother.
Oh, maybe I did.
She
I thought
didn't-
he was black. That's Rick Astley?
Yes.
Wow.
Oh.
Well,
man, this one had some moments, did it not? The big one that jumps out to me was, when we were having this not really a split screen, but the back and forth with both Rebecca and Ted. And what was interesting was, the story that Ted had, I would expect Rebecca's reaction to go along with what Ted was saying. So it was a weird thing where I don't want to say they were swapped because Rebecca's reaction to me makes sense. With Ted's, it was just you would expect, or at least I expected him to act a little bit differently. But then as the story went on and as he was saying what he was saying to Sharon, it did start to make sense. And I think there's more, maybe more to that than obviously than what Ted gave us right there. Who knows? Maybe we'll explore it more. Maybe that was a sign with, Ted finally going to the funeral that maybe he should have always gone to. That was his dad's. That maybe that is the final chapter in that book, and maybe it's closed. And now perhaps the story will move on to some different things, whether that's Ted and Sassy's relationship, Sam and Rebecca, so who knows where that goes. But again, if this is the end of Ted having to go through that, then I'm fine with that. That's cool. If they choose to explore more, then I'm for that as well. The other thing that I want to touch on that it felt a little interesting at first. I wasn't sure where they were going with it, was with Jamie and Keely. And, there's been a handful of episodes now where those two have been kind of, working together, having scenes together, and whether it's Jamie's in the background to hold the camera on him for just a minute or vice versa with Keely, she might be looking over at him like she was. I was surprised to see they're still kind of doing that love triangle with that. I kind of thought that story was finished with, but then we come to realize, everything that Jamie said, I don't need to rehash it, but that he was better and felt that he had the potential that Keely always saw in him. And it was tough to read Keely's expression there. Was she proud of Jamie for becoming what he was? Did she see that maybe she still has some attraction for him? But then Roy jumps in there right at the end, and, she's kind of very thrilled to see what Roy had to say. And that's like, okay, this is the guy that I love. I'm wondering if it was that sort of thing. So I think you could go a lot of different ways with the whole Roy, Jamie, Keely thing. And again, I don't know. I'm not sure if I want that to be an ongoing thing because I don't to me, it's not fair to really anybody in this situation. It's not fair to Roy to know that, somebody who he cares about is thinking about somebody else or considering somebody else. And it's not fair to Keeley to be in the middle of that. And it's also not fair to Jamie to, putting his feelings out there and wondering if Keeley is going to reciprocate those feelings. So it's just kind of a weird thing. And I hope there comes a hard stop to that and everybody kind of figures out where everybody's at. And it's like, no, Keeley's with Roy and that's how it's going to be. The back and forth with it just seems so disingenuous, but especially after everything they've been through. I don't like the look that it paints anybody, Keeley, Roy, or Jamie.
But this is real life, though.
Yeah.
I could not disagree more. You're saying for the sake of the story, I want my story.
Well, no, not the story, the characters. I don't like how it puts the characters. Like, it's been this so long. She's been with Roy and she's been with Roy and they've been happy, and Roy's been with Keeley and they've been making things work. And hey, Jamie pops back in the picture. Hey, I'm a better guy now. Oh, you're a better guy. This is
an absolute mirror of what happens to relationships in real life. I get what you're saying. And because yes, you want everything to fit nice and neat. And I get what you're saying for the sake of the story. But this is 1,000% a very true adaptation of things that happen in real relationships.
I just don't like that they're going back to it again. I feel like this story was wrapped up a couple of episodes ago, and now it's coming back to it. I wanted Roy and Keeley's relationship to explore more. It feels like they're stuck in first gear, and Keeley kind of keeps
what
going
happens to relationships in real life.
After a season and a half, though.
This is
opinions vary. Entertainment subjective.
Oh, I don't want to do spoilers for Friends, but everyone knows the Ross and Rachel freaking storyline. It does that.
I don't know that story.
But nonetheless, so that's kind of my feelings with that point of the story. I thought Rebecca's scenes were incredibly powerful, as well as Ted's. They both had some killer scenes in here where they absolutely crushed it. And, this episode really delivered on letting the actors really shine in their moments. And, like I said, and then, we kind of had a little bit of a thing with Sam where, he put on the happy face for Rebecca, but I wonder how much of that is really true. Obviously he's going to be sad and he wants to, I think he understands Rebecca's situation to a point, but, definitely put on the happy face for her and hopefully things, maybe come around in that storyline. So yeah, great episode, as per usual though.
I believe this is the episode that they used for Jason Sudeikis to win lead actor in a comedy series, because he won it in 21 and 22, which obviously this could have easily been part of the one that he won with it. Just his breakdown and him going, what was the one thing he's always said? He's never quit a thing in his life. And why does he hate his dad? His dad quit on life. But then he also puts that partially to blame on himself, because he said he wished he would have told him more, wish he would have said more how good of a father he was. And he had the heartwarming story about telling us about how he read the whole book because he didn't. And he didn't want him to stress over a silly test, is how he put it. And it just goes to show you that if you need to tell your parents more things while they're still here. And he unfortunately, he feels like slightly responsible for it. He knows, his dad quit. He feels that his dad quit. That's why he never quits. And then even in that moment, he said his mom, because he said it quit on his mom. And that was a big reason why he felt so bad about that as well. And the back and forth of how Rebecca and Ted were telling their respective stories of finding their father in two entirely different situations was brilliant, and it worked well together. And then obviously Rebecca and her mom had a great back and forth telling her that, I hate you for what you did. But then you had her mom coming right back, well, I wasn't as strong as you. And she's like, she finally told her too how proud she was for leaving Rupert. Probably something Rebecca needed to hear, a few years prior, but she still finally heard it from her mom that probably had to make her feel, a lot better. And then that's why then I did love that they sprinkled in the comedy here and there, because at the end of the day, it is a comedic show. So you are going to have that stuff that they had to throw in there with Danny Rojas and his feet. You had none of them could wear the Yeezys. Like where Colin was thinking he had to wait in line to get the shoes.
Yeah.
And Jamie's like, no, nobody waits in line.
Nobody wants them.
Nobody wants the shoes. So it was just a great formula of success for this episode. And then even, like you said, Ted coming back to the funeral that, he didn't go to. He didn't go to his own father's. And, that's got to be rough and weigh on him, in more ways than he even lets on. So it was great to see him break down with Doc and tell her, then finally telling her too a story he loved. And I mean, even in season 1, before we knew, he had the dart speech where he told, how much he loved playing darts every Sunday. And that's another reason why too, he might have wished he would have told him he was a great father, because he went and played darts with him every Sunday and absolutely loved it, but just never had the chance to tell his dad, or he never took the opportunity to tell him as much as he could of how great of a father he was. So it was a hard-hitting episode, but a great episode, and wow, this show just never ceases to disappoint me.
Never ceases to disappoint.
Never ceases to never disappoints. There.
Never ceases to disappoint. I just want to clarify that.
Never ceases.
Look, this episode
Mix up my words.
was absolutely phenomenal, start to finish. Every way. Look, the way they are able to mix comedy and sadness and life lessons and humor and in very real situations, and have it mirror real life so accurately in so many ways is just, it's beyond brilliant. It really is, and it's so different. We're going through some of the reviews, and some people, this isn't a comedy, this isn't a show about football. And look, the overwhelming majority of reviews for this episode are 10 out of 10. And some people, and as you've said, entertainment is subjective. So some people I can understand if they don't like it, if they were looking just for a straight comedy or a show about football. But I thought this episode was absolutely brilliant. We finally got Ted to really open up to his psychiatrist. And look, nobody can know what somebody goes through unless they've been in that particular situation, which is true for so many things in life. So many traumatizing moments and big events that happen through all our lives. I guess it's a cliche thing to say that you don't know what it's like unless you go through that. But I mean, that would be one of the worst things that you can go through is, having a parent take their own life like that. And especially at that age, like at the age of 16, it's like, about enough about life to understand what's going on. And there's so many questions, and, you're starting to become a young man on your own, and, having it happen when he was in the house, and he was the one who found him. But it was very powerful. I liked the way they went back and forth between Ted and Rebecca. Obviously, two very different experiences that they had, but experiences that made them have a lot of disdain for their fathers. Rebecca with dad cheating on mom and catching it, and of course Ted with what he called his father quitting on him and his mom. So the back and forth there was very powerful. Funerals are weird. Like that. I was at a funeral not long ago for my 89-year-old uncle, who I was very, very close with. I know we have a lot of people on here that, follow me or I'm friends with on social media, and the older I get, and if I'm being honest, the more my life is out in public with this channel and some other things, the more I keep personal stuff close to me. So I don't mind talking about it in the review, but I don't do a lot of social media posts as far as close family things anymore. But we lost my uncle, but going there, it was kind of he was 89, lived just an incredible life, so we were sharing a lot of fun stories, and for as cliche as it sounds, there was a lot of laughing and a lot of crying, and we actually didn't even do a funeral service. My uncle didn't want it. It was just kind of a gathering and a get together. But that's how funerals are, there's laughing, of course the priest did a good job of how he was hanging on to every word, and then threw in, the joke about Richmond. And, even the funerals that I've been to, I think people try to throw in funny stories and memories because it's healing. Helps bring people together that are there. So that, they did a good job with that. The storyline with Jamie and Roy and Keely, I understand what you're saying, because I think at this point you want Keely and Roy to be happy, but the show is doing a great job of reflecting very real things that happen in life. And sometimes it's just where we're at in our lives, right? Like you meet somebody, you get along great, there's things wrong with the relationship, and you just decide that's not it, and you go your separate ways. And, and some people stay immature and don't change, and some people change, and you get the whole, well, where was this person when we were dating? And it's like, do you take the risk and go back to them knowing that you had a lot of great things, and maybe the things that you didn't like are now resolved? On the flip side of that, it's very easy to put on I've changed, like how often have we seen that? Oh, I've changed. Oh my God, look, they've changed, and then you walk away from something like that. Would be my biggest concern with this situation is look, and we have seen a lot of maturing from Jamie. We have. There's been a ton of character development. So by no means am I saying he's just your stereotypical guy saying, oh baby, I've changed for you. And then she walks away from a situation where things are really good only to find out that things are bad. And then, well, do you go back to the other one, or is that person moved on? These are the intricacies of real relationships.
Well, don't you question the strength of Keely and Roy's relationship then, if she's like constantly tempted by Jamie in like every
But
episode?
I totally disagree with you. Where do you see her?
They had all the shots of her. They've had continuous shots in it. Like the last episodes we've done where she's always looking at Jamie and the cameras.
She's looked at Jamie because look, he's there. Look, when you're very close with somebody for a long time. Yeah, look, she has changed and he's whatever, and they're in a tight space. Look, though, everything with Roy and Keely and Jamie is going to be complicated. Imagine having to work with an ex. I mean, working with look, it's easy when you and your ex split. You don't have to see each other. That you see your ex every single day. And now she's in a situation where she sees her ex every single day, is becoming a better person. And the guy she's with now used to be a teammate with him. Now he's his coach. And let's not forget what happened 2 episodes ago where Roy was the one who came in and gave the big hug to Jamie. So I think this is brilliant writing because it's a very complicated situation. If anything, the bone to pick with the writing is that they put those 3 in that situation. Like if you're going to pick on the writing, I wouldn't pick on the situation and the fact that I would say, oh, well, now we have this situation, but the writing is very good. But look, I think it's a very accurate, and I get what you're saying, like, hey, for the sake of the story, and we all love Roy, right? So we want, Keely to be happy with Roy. And when they make you think, the last handful of episodes, Roy's getting clingy. Okay, he's not getting, maybe he's getting clingy, and doesn't mean Keely just needs her space. Everybody needs their space at times. And he corrects it right away. And now we see again, Roy being, whatever, and Keely being like, oh, geez, and Jamie's there kind of just being Jamie. And then Roy comes back perfectly, and it's like, it's easy to sit here and say, well, look, Keely's got Roy, he's being great. Why would she even think about Jamie? And it's like, well, this isn't black and white on a piece of paper. This is really real life, and somebody that you dated and you're very close with and you loved. Now you're still in a very close proximity to them on a day-to-day basis. It's not like I'm dating somebody new, just gonna turn off that switch for somebody.
Me, it just gives me the feeling that at any moment Roy and Keely can be done, and it hurts for me the strength of their relationship and to take it seriously when I feel like every episode it's on the verge of being done.
It is. Every episode they're literally on the verge of something happening with Keely and Jamie. But again, this is life. I mean, imagine. I can't imagine having, look, I'm incredibly happy with where I'm at right now. I'm also 45 years old. I've done as much stupid shit as a human being could do in life. And if you rewind me, 15 years to when I'm Jamie or Keely's age, we don't even know how Roy is. And Roy's probably still in his, I don't know, probably early to late 30s in the show, retiring
because
from.
he's retiring from football.
Yeah, retiring from football. He's probably 35 years old here, so he's 10 years younger. I mean, you're taking a situation where, look, I understand what you're saying, but for me, I like it because it is a very accurate representation of what could happen when you have people. And look, the reality is we also didn't have some major falling out between Jamie and Keely. It was just, hey, you need to mature. It wasn't like he did, something terrible to her. Or you needed to mature.
I don't know. He did cheat on her. No,
they broke up, and he just
and the next
like the
day
next day.
That's right.
But
That's what it
technically, they were
was.
broke up, right?
I was trying to
but
remember
also, it wasn't like. We don't know how long they were together, but it was a short-ish period of time before she was with Roy.
That is the tricky part with this show, is that the time is sometimes hard to figure out. So I get what
but in any regard, that the relation, I like that part. So the stuff with Ted was great. The Rebecca and Sam, I'm glad they're having her at least second guess it. They brought up the should we do it, the press, all that stuff, because that's very obvious. Look, forget the age gap, forget anything else. The fact that she's the owner and he's a player, that makes this very, very messy.
Like if Jerry Jones was dating a cheerleader.
Yeah, well, that's got its own, whatever.
Okay, there you go.
But
there's a good thing to end on with.
But
well,
no,
I mean that's. Don't you think that's a fair example to make? Okay, maybe not somebody as old as Jerry Jones with that time frame, but to pick any NFL owner you want and have them dating a cheerleader.
Well, we have Bill Belichick and Jerry Jones, or Bill Belichick and his girl now, which is totally different
because she's not an employee.
Not an employee, but there's still. But there's also that there's a big difference. Look, that's I don't think that Jerry Jones is a fair comparison because look, the age gap between Rebecca and Sam, while it's large and she's quite literally twice his age, I think it doesn't the age gap between Sam and Rebecca in this doesn't, I don't feel like there's a power dynamic at play here, if that makes sense. I just think it's an age gap. Look, if you have somebody that's 75 and somebody who's 25, then I think there becomes the discussion of whether it's again, a power thing or whatever.
Well,
either way,
example, because I don't know any other NFL owners that I can reference.
Right, but I mean,
look,
you could look. There's female owners of sports teams. There's younger, there's younger owners of sports teams. But again, I don't have any examples off the top of my head. But in any regard, so the story's getting great. The last thing I'm going to talk about is the Ricky Astley thing. It was interesting the way they worked it into the funeral, but the mom said, earlier on, she said, when I love something, I love it for life. And I think that was kind of Rebecca's way of saying, like, my dad is who he was, and she, said she hated him, but
I think it was also for her mom because it was her mom's favorite.
Yeah.
She has to listen to it every morning.
Yeah. But I think, there was, the earlier episode where Higgins, was talking about his relationship with his father and said, I accepted the things that weren't great about him and loved him for other reasons. And I think at some point, they say we don't get to choose our family. Some of us are lucky where, we would take them. But and look, this was another, we got to wrap this up. I could talk about this episode for another 2 hours and not even scratch the surface, but amazing.
Oh, we know.
I'm the 10 out of 10 IMDb rater or whatever you want to call me. But I absolutely love this. I thought it was brilliant. And I can't wait to see what the next few bring.
All right, there you go. Show that just keeps getting better. Never ceases to amaze me. How about that?
Never ceases to disappoint me.
I did that wrong. So for Appleton Oak, that's Mason Quinn. I'm, of course, Answer. We'll catch you on the next one, pals.